First of all, thank you, YellowScan, for giving me the chance to present some of our projects every year here on the LiDAR for Drone conference. This year we did something special, and also the last year was very challenging for us, because also the request for special projects is getting more and more. We are recognizing that LiDAR scanning is getting accepted not only from universities, it's now it's in the companies, and more and more people start thinking about the usage of LiDAR scanning in different applications. And so today we will show you one different stuff than before. In the last year we were only presenting projects in the CloudStation, but we often get the question, what happens to my data after I created an LIZ file or something? And what is the usage of such big data? What can I do with it? So for those guys who want to know what's going up, the agenda for this presentation is I will explain you some stuff about Most Robotics, who we are, what we are doing, and then we are going through the project which we have done last December. Talk about the project planning and organization, how to go through such a request. We will show you the fieldwork, what we have done, the point cloud processing we have already done, so no worries, we will not do 200 hectares live processing. Then what we are getting out of the CloudStation, so the point cloud exportation, and then we are talking about the next step, and that's the AI process. Together with CLE Timber, who is offering a service to inspect forests and have a report of different applications. About Most Robotics, for those who didn't know us, I was founding Most Robotics in 2021 with Leonard, who is sitting there, and we started rethinking our business. So we are doing drones since 2015. I'm flying RC helicopter since I'm 9 years old. So we were always in the technical part of drones. In the very first beginning, we developed different drones for different applications. And then we thought about maybe our effort is to bring different parties together and sell complete solutions. So not only drones where we can integrate payloads, we wanted to deliver complete solutions and be the binding part between the customer and the manufacturers to have influence from the market directly into the products. And there we started with AceCore, selling some AceCore stuff for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Then Roberto gave us the chance in the very first beginning, where we were only 2 people, to become the YellowScan distributor. And now we are distributing different companies and combining the leading companies or the leading manufacturers together to deliver complete solutions. So the biggest part, what we are normally doing as Most Robotics, is sales, consulting, training, support, but also research and development. And one big part which came up in the very first beginning in our LiDAR mission was also services. So there was a project with a VX20-300 for the German Railroad Authority, and they wanted to improve if LiDAR scanning give them an effort in their daily business. And they didn't have the knowledge to fly drones, to operate LiDAR scanners, and so on. And there we started doing develop a research project with them together to show that the VX20 is able to do some missions. Our vision is to make the workflow of our customers easier, faster, safer, and with that more efficient. So that means that we are not only selling drones, we also sell like robots, rover, and stuff like that, but always with the mission to make it more efficient for our customers. So let's start with the project. we got the request from CLE Timber, which is our partner for forest inspection. In the very first beginning, we also used the VX2300 of the German Railroad Authority and the point clouds we did in this research project to start training an AI to give us a feedback about location of tree trunks, the diameter, the crown diameter, and so on. And therefore, we are directly based in the Harz region, which is a big forest directly in the middle of Germany. And it was very easy for us to give different kind of tree point clouds to CLE Timber. And after 2 years of working together, map different smaller areas, they asked us if we can help them to use the Voyager in Portugal for the company Navigator, which is a very big paper production there. And they have a lot of forests and plantation for eucalyptus. Their biggest problem is that they have different forests all over the country and in different stadiums. And right now they have a lot of students going around measuring by hand the tree trunks and so on. And then they are trying to find an average report about some trees and try to make the production planning for the harvest of the eucalyptus. And there we said, okay, maybe we can do it much easier, much faster, and much more precise than just going around measuring the height with the laser, staying in front of the tree and stuff like that. So so we wanted to know if the terrain is also so good enough for our application. Then it's always the question how you are going to start a project like this. This was the first time for us that we left our normal market like Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Normally it's easy to drive with the car and the equipment in the forest, but when you have to ship an ACE-Core NOAA with enough batteries, chargers, and stuff like that to a different country where you can't drive, it was a mission before the mission really started. So first we got the project infos, we started collecting the right equipment for it, then we have done the shipment, have done the field work and the data processing. So this is a fast comparison of the workflow. For the equipment, as I mentioned, we use the ACE-Core NOAA, which you can see there, together with the Voyager and then AP50 as IMU. Then we needed enough power in the field to run the whole day, so we also needed some generators. We used some cars to climb the hills in the plantation because the area is very hilly, which means that we often started on the hill and were flying in negative altitude from the start, relative to the start position. Then we have our laptop in the field because when you are driving to a different country collecting data, you don't want to recognize that something was wrong when you're back home. You want to know it's directly in the field. So therefore, we also got a new computer to run powerful in the field. And you need, when you're operating the Voyager and the Navigator, you definitely need enough storage, so several SSDs to get all the data collected. So the field work is very easy explained, and I will show you later also a video of it. But after we shipped the equipment to Portugal, the first step was calling the customer that he checked that everything is there. So because we have to ship the batteries excluded and the drone excluded. So there are a lot of edges when you do projects like this where everything could go wrong and then you are there with a pilot and don't have batteries or something is broken. So system checks was the first thing we have done when we were there. Build it up the drone, check if everything is working, check if we get satellites and so on. Then we started driving with the car through the area to have a better overview about your field. Then we did the flight planning, which we have done before in Germany, but then you have to adjust it in the field again. Then we built up the drones, managed the flights, and checked also the data directly in the field. For the flight planning, we are using often for these missions UGCS, which is a pretty good tool to manage your DJI drones and your ArduPilot drones at the same time. And also for LiDAR missions, it's pretty easy because they have LiDAR tools directly where you can type in your field of view instead of calculating a camera with the same field of view to make some overlap calculations and so on. And also to integrate your elevation model and so on, because as I mentioned, the terrain was very hard to tackle because it's so hilly there and you have to cover everything. The mission settings were that we were flying at 60 meters with 6 meters per second, 50% overlap and a cross grid. I know a lot of people here are using the Voyager definitely different, but for this project we didn't want to make something wrong, so we said, okay, let's do a cross grid anyways, and the result is speaking for itself. Every flight was about 30 to 40 minutes, and we have done 13 flights. Yeah, as you could see, there was tree trunks from very small trees up to very big 18 years old trees. Eucalyptus is one of the fastest growing plants on the earth, and that's why it's so important also for making paper out of it, because it's very fast growing and it's very effective to do it, and that's why in Portugal a lot of forests are eucalyptus. We had to tackle a little bit, maybe someone has seen it in the last shot, with the rain. On the first day it was totally raining and we started flying. That's why we also have some rain dust in our point cloud. So here you can see it's the whole project of the 250 hectares, and we used, of all of our trajectory, 2.5 hours to collect 14 billion points in one project. It was pretty massive because we did the cross grid. The area is not that big, so you could be more efficient when the area is bigger. You can definitely go downwards with the overlap. You can go down, go up with the height, because the scanner is able to do it also in higher heights. But we trained also the AI with exactly these settings: 50% overlap, 60 meters flight height, and that's why we are using it like this. So it took a while to process the data, and the project file is 660 gigabytes only for this project. So you have to make sure that you have enough storage, as I mentioned. If there are questions about the point cloud, please feel free to ask anything you want. But I would start to zoom in a little bit and show you the point cloud. As you could see here, there we had some rain, and it was really, really raining. So I also have some videos of that, but I don't want to show it to the team of YellowScan because Voyager was a little bit wet there. It was raining. We also stopped the flight because it was too heavily raining. As you can see here, it was definitely too much, and tried to use as less start points as possible to cover the most area. So the points where you are losing time in the field is to reset the drone from one position to the other. And also the NOAA is a very big drone. You have to rebuild and build again. That's why we choose the pickups and so on. For the tree measurements, you can see definitely that it's forested by human. And when you zoom in, we have pretty good data directly coming out of the point cloud and so on. So yeah, if you want to measure your own stuff in the point cloud, normally it was planned to have more time in here, but I see that I'm running out of time. We have a point cloud viewer online where you can see the point cloud and do your own measurements without having the LIZ file. I will give you the upload later. About CLE Timber. Who is CLE Timber? They are very experienced guys coming from the forest industry. So it's Alex van Gelder. You've also seen him in the video. He was with us in Portugal. And he worked before for the Dutch forest authority, and he was selling the wood for the country itself to other countries and so on. So he knows the completely supply chain. He owns own forests and so on, so he knows everything about the tree and the business behind it. That's why he developed this software. Yeah, then we started to develop some more AI stuff around it. So also when you have different projects and want to use it, there's a platform where you can upload your data, and also there you can help CLE Timber to get better and better. Yeah, and the hyper-focus means that they are only focused using AI for forest applications instead of doing cities, smart cities, and so on. So these are the forests where CLE Timber is already there, and this is some kind of overview what they can get out of the data. So often we are doing a lot of projects in the Netherlands, like 400 hectares to find some wet spots, and this was totally different forest than one plantation. And there we got 4 different plots. For this plot it was 5,200 trees. The average diameter was 40 centimeters. The volume was 1.2 volume, and the average height was 21 meters. Yeah. The workflow is that you can directly process your data. You can fly by your own. You can also ask CLE Timber if we should do some services for them. So they started also using AI for photogrammetry, for autophotos, hyperspectral stuff, and so on. So you can upload your data by your own, or we are producing it on my CLE Timber. And then you will get the analysis done directly on the server of CLE Timber. And after validation and quality check, you will get the completely report set up and a comparison of your forest directly from CLE Timber. First, they start doing the segmentation, so the point cloud classification, individual tree segmentation. As you can see here, we have different, every tree has its own classified color. Then they are generating the DTM and the CHM. After that, they are filtering the data, calculation of every single tree. As you have seen, normally the report of the customer looks a bit different. This we skipped. And here you can see the separation of the different trees. You have different ages also seeing there. This is one of the first generation, so they cut the trees 3 times on the same trunk, more or less. And after they have cut the first generation, it will appear from the first trunk 2 of the trees. When they cut 2 of them, you will see the third generation has more trunks than 1, and that's a bit different difficult for the AI to find out if it's 1 tree or several trees and so on. That's why it's so important to use the Voyager for these applications. Yeah, this is the project itself. So we had 180,000 numbers of trees. You will get a hillshade height geotiff with different positions of the several trees. Also here you can see this is the first generation. Here you have the second generation because there are much more trees staying together. This is something our end customer gets, and this is something which is more or less interesting for them. But the step before is to generate also a complete data of every tree, has an own tree ID, has an own coordinate system, coordinate in X, Y, Z, have an own height, a crown, and so on. So there is a very big Excel sheet of the forest but this is too much to work with. So that's why they are always putting something together to a fast report for the end customer. Yeah. For the future, they are also working on automation and also tree classification, that you can see what kind of tree do I have there. Right now, they only can decide from the LiDAR data side if it's having leaves or needles to separate this, but in the future, it will be more precise. And also we are now working more and more to automation with hunger systems that you can, for example, inspect your tree much more often and again and again. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, if you want to have a look on our point cloud viewer, you will find the point cloud with this link or with the QR code, and then you can do your own measuring stuff directly there. It's not that good optimized right now for your mobile phone, so maybe you can scan it and have a look on your computer later. It's much better to have a mouse to zoom in and out. Okay, then thank you very much for your attention. And